Welcome to the Nog Vlog. Come take a tour of the Carnival Valor here in spring of 2022. My name is Lance and I'll be giving this walking tour for you here today as we travel through the Gulf of Mexico. We're going to start on deck 12. Now this is an old Camp Ocean outside area that's used to have some playground equipment, but it's been removed. You can see here's a door inside to Camp Ocean. Now on this sea day, due to high winds, we weren't able to access deck 14, the top deck. Now all that is an additional serenity area, as well as the entrance to the water slide. So this port side of the forward area of deck 12 is pretty quiet, pretty tame. Got plenty of loungers. You'll see there's a pair of ping pong tables for anybody to use. Again, this is not a serenity area. We'll show you that here in a moment across the way. I mentioned deck 14 being closed off due to high winds during this tour. You could see these stairs would take you up to the entrance to the water slide. This water slide takes you down 2 levels, pretty tame, nothing spectacular, not upgraded like some of the other Conquest class ships so far. There is more of deck 12 towards the aft of the ship. We'll head that way in a moment. But first we're going to go back through those double doors we saw in between the ping pong tables. This will take us to the main entrance of Camp Ocean. Now Camp Ocean here on deck 12 is conveniently located right next to the Serenity adult area that we're going to see in just a moment on the starboard side. If you head down the hallway, you'll see the entrance to Camp Ocean. Here's an example from the hub app of the hours that they were open on this particular cruise. They may vary, they do change between the different age groups as well. So when you board the ship, definitely check that out. Make sure you register your kids for all the fun activities there so you can have some time to yourself as well. Now speaking of time away from your kids, there's no place better to do it than the Serenity Adult Only Retreat. There's some great seating areas both near the ocean view as well as tucked away in the shade. There's a nice large bar here as well, and it's got some pretty refreshing drinks that are exclusive to the Serenity area, so give it a try, even if hanging out here in the quiet space is not your thing. These stairs lead up to another area of Serenity that has a pair of whirlpools, again closed off unfortunately on this sea day due to high winds. You can see another entrance into Camp Ocean. And here in the most forward section of the ship, a plethora of clamshells. Took a little nap here in this corner on my first sea day. You'll see the towel station with the yellow towels. Those are exclusive for Serenity. Just give them your room number, they'll let you borrow one, turn it back in, they'll mark it off. And our final staircase up to deck 14 for the entrance to the slide from the starboard side. So a little bit more on deck 12 as I mentioned in the aft of the ship. We'll head over there right now, and that is the miniature golf. Nice little course surrounding the whale tail. Grab a club, grab a ball, have some fun. We'll head back to the front of the ship and continue the tour now on deck 11. Now the spa on this ship is not anything super extravagant, but it does give you the basic services like a salon, massage rooms, and of course you also have a fitness center. The entrance to the fitness center is separated by the locker room, so you have a ladies and a men's. Of course I can't film inside the locker room, but as you walk through you'll see an entrance into the gym from each side. The fitness center is quite large, lots of equipment. They do have towels for you, you don't have to bring anything from your stateroom. They also have a fitness studio which has several different types of classes, both educational and active, such as spin classes. Each of the locker rooms has its own sauna and steam room as well. Heading outside the doors into this small area of deck 11, you'll see stairs back up to deck 12, where we were at the beginning of our tour. Now you could see you could follow this down to deck 10. However, we're not finished with deck 11. We'll continue on deck 11 just to the right of that movie screen you see in front of you there. And that's where the jogging track begins. You can see one lap is about 200 yards, so 9 laps would get you approximately 1 mile. So before we loop around on the jogging track and check out the very aft of the ship, we'll glance to the left and see the sports deck. We've got basketball, volleyball, and the small stairs that takes you up to the miniature golf. And as we avoid some passengers that don't understand what arrows mean, you'll see the shuffleboard area. I believe the equipment is located inside those storage benches. You can take some stairs down to deck 10 for some additional lounging area. As we peek over the railing, you'll see the sliding sky dome that can cover the Prometheus pool, which is the aft pool of the ship. We'll show more of that as we get down to deck 10. Now, unless you're in port, you'll find that the starboard side of the jogging track can be a little bit harder than the port side. Take a listen as I break the fourth wall. You can hear the resistance of the wind.
Now it stops being windy.
So you'll see there's some stairs that take you back down to deck 10. At the front part of the jogging track, there's another entrance into the sports square from this port side. And as we make the final turn, you'll see we'll get back to our starting place here on the jogging track of deck 11. Now down to deck 10. We'll begin deck 10 in the forward elevator area. We'll exit to the starboard pair of doors. This will show you the small dolphin pool and the whirlpool that's located just at the base of the water slide. These little seats here are probably some of the best you can get if you want a nice view of the action going on down by the pool on the Lido deck. If you want a nice view from the side angle, I recommend this spot right here. It's a great way to look down at all the activities going on. Here you can see a deck party on the last night of the cruise from this same spot. You can see the beautiful Gulf of Mexico as we head back to New Orleans. Now behind this window here is the Scarlett's Steakhouse. We'll take a look inside in just a moment. But once you get past the steakhouse, you see a nice large area for relaxation. Great spot to get some sun, get away from the action on the Lido deck. So behind this window is the old-fashioned barbecue restaurant. This is where I actually had my first meal on embarkation day on my Valor trip. You can access this through doors in the back or through stairs up from the buffet on deck 9. This restaurant is free and a lot of times empty on embarkation day. The food is decent, nothing special, but you won't have to wait. So as we get closer to the aft of deck 10, You can see the sliding sky dome that covers the Prometheus pool. You've got a stairway down to deck 9 to the aft pool area. Now this aft pool, it's always mentioned that it's supposed to be adults only. I don't know if that's 100% true, but even with adults, you might still find kids at heart. Now that we're at the very aft of the ship, we can peek over the rail and check out the wake. So keeping things symmetrical, there's stairs down to deck 9 and also stairs up to deck 11. And then you enter the smoking area of the ship. You won't find me here. So now we've reached Scarlet's Steakhouse again. We'll loop around and take a look inside. You can see here we've got the DJ booth for all the deck parties. Let's go through the doors and take a look inside Scarlet's Steakhouse. This is an additional cost restaurant. Deck 9, Lido deck. We'll begin this one in the forward elevators. As you wrap around, you'll see the beautiful Atrium America with a glass ceiling just below the water slide. And peering down, you'll see all the way down to deck 3. As we take this hallway, there's one on either side. Be careful of these glass panels here. Luckily, they've got a little bit of an emblem on them, so you can remember that they're there. I have seen people walk into these panels before. And heading out, you'll get to the Lido deck. Now, this is the actual area where those Lido parties will take place. Sail away, mega deck parties. Depending on your cruise itinerary, you've got a lot of different options. Now the largest pool on the ship is here in the middle of the Lido deck. It's the Argonaut pool. And on each side you've got a bar. We'll first take a look at the Blue Iguana Tequila bar. My favorite drink here is the Bite of the Iguana. Give it a try. And that's conveniently paired with the Blue Iguana Cantina restaurant. Here you can get delicious tacos, burritos, got good breakfast items as well. You've got a swirl station on each side serving frozen yogurt and soft serve ice cream. This leads us into the buffet area. Now the name of this whole buffet area is called Rosie's Restaurant. There's a ton of options within this whole area. The first we'll come across here is the deli. Now I love the deli, but as you can see by this line, so does everyone else. It's a very popular place. We got great hours, so choose your time wisely, and there's a ton on the menu to try. I need to actually try some different options. I always seem to end up getting this meatball sandwich, and it's delicious. So the larger portion of the buffet of Rosie's Restaurant is in the back, but usually you'll find the same foods both in the forward and aft parts of the buffet. Continuing aft towards this outer section of Deck 9 is the Pizza Pirate Pizzeria. And just behind that is the aft pool bar. I had the pizza once on this trip. It was okay, nothing special, but sometimes late at night it's the exact thing you're looking for, and it's open. Here's that Prometheus pool we've referenced so many times before. On the opposite side is the Seafood Shack. Now I always like to get me a lobster roll on my sailings, but on this trip I did not have time, just a 4-day sailing, so didn't partake, but I always look forward to that. One thing that the Conquest class ships have that a lot of others don't is a second smaller coffee shop in the back of the Lido. If the line is too long at the coffee shop that's on Deck 5, take advantage of that. Now after your meal, if you need something sweet, typically this is the area you're going to find it. They'll usually have cakes, cookies. Of course, you've got Rosie looking down at you saying, yeah, of course, you can do it. You can have another piece. And where the deli was on the port side, here on the starboard side, you've got Sushi at Sea. Again, I had this twice on this particular trip. However, I failed to get any footage of it, I guess, because you do have to wait a little bit longer for them to make it fresh. I went straight into eating it without capturing some footage on that. But always delicious and not very expensive, even though it is an additional cost. So the last unique restaurant here on the Lido deck is Mongolian Wok. Now it's only available during lunchtime, but you can get custom stir fry, and they do change up some of the protein options. This time I had salmon. You see the swirl station here that is next to Guy's Burgers. I did have a Guy's Burger on this trip, but I don't recall filming it. But you're welcome to check our other videos for plenty of examples of eating those delicious cheeseburgers. I mentioned 2 bars here on the Lido deck. The other one is the Red Frog Rum Bar. My favorite cocktail from here is probably Red's Rum Treasure, but honestly you can give me any rum drink that they serve and I'll be happy to drink it. You see there's 2 additional whirlpools, usually full of kids, here on Deck 9, and that'll conclude things for the Lido deck. We'll head down to Deck 5 and start in the front near the Ivanhoe Theater. Now the theater actually comprises 3 different decks, 3, 4, and 5. You can enter on 5 and actually take stairs to exit on 4 or vice versa. This is where you'll see all the playlist production performances from the cast that sing and dance for you. You'll also have other activities hosted by the cruise director where guests get to get on stage and have some fun. Overall, there'll be a lot of activities going on here, especially in the evenings, but even lighter stuff during the day such as bingo and trivia. So heading back out to the exit doors, we'll pass the forward stairway and elevators. You can see there's actually entrances and exits to the Ivanhoe Theater on both sides of the ship, and that goes for all 3 decks, 3, 4, and 5. If you continue on the starboard side, you'll see some of the fun shops. Here's where you'll find some higher end jewelry, watches, and perfume, purses, things like that. Continuing around the atrium on Deck 5 forward, you'll encounter the Cherry on Top. This is a small little candy store. In addition to candy, there's toys and trinkets as well. You can see there's some stairs that take you down to Deck 4. And we'll encounter the Skybox Sports Bar. Now my trip was during March Madness. This is actually the very first day of March Madness, one of the best days to have a sports bar experience. And sadly, until we got to the Mississippi River, they did not have any of the channels connected. I don't know if that's a port thing for New Orleans or what, but it was quite disappointing for all the sports fans not to be able to watch those first games of March Madness. Right next door, you'll find the Carnival store, and that will contain some souvenirs as well as toiletries. You've got a Sail and Sign kiosk available to access your account. Again, some more shopping with beauty products, makeup, fragrances, and then your liquor and tobacco. Again, everything you buy here is duty free, but they will hold on to it until you get off the ship. So we'll turn around and we'll actually skip over to the casino area. Now, the area all along the starboard side of the ship is called the King Boulevard here on Deck 5. They've got all your standard table games with a $5 minimum. Craps included with that. You do 2 times max odds behind your pass line bets. You've got blackjack at paying 6 to 5, so not all that great. You've got Let It Ride. You've got several different poker games like 3-card poker, 3-card prime. There's a few others. You got roulette, but overall, pretty decent casino and pretty active, pretty full. You can smoke while you play, but other than that, you cannot smoke at the casino bar, which you'll see up here on the right. We'll continue down the King Boulevard. This place gets pretty congested, especially in between show changes and in between dinner times. On top of that, you also have the staff from the Pixel photo team to take your photos against the backdrops, and the lines for those can get in the way. Just not overall a great design for those peak times. Things were getting so crowded I had to pull off to the side just so I can get over to the internet cafe, show you just the options you have in case you didn't pre-purchase a internet plan for your cell phone. Mentioned the coffee shop earlier, and you can see the line does get long there throughout the day, especially in the morning. So again, if you're up near Deck 9 and want to try the smaller coffee shop, give it a try. Here you see the midship stairway and elevators, easy access to the casino. There's some bathrooms back here, and easy way to kind of get around a crowd too if you know exactly where you're going. Next up is the Red Frog Pub. Again, a very popular hangout. It does have a weird design, kind of a little choke point here just to get to the back where all the fun activities tend to take place, including live music. Here they've got a beanbag toss challenge, but great drinks, great atmosphere. And they do have a TV in here. I was thinking they might not have one. Continuing down King Boulevard, we'll stop at this beautiful chandelier. It sits over this staircase that goes down to Deck 4. More on this staircase in just a bit when we're actually on Deck 4. Next up is the arcade. I did also film in the arcade right when I boarded, just to get some footage in there before all the kids took it over. And just around the corner is a place for the grown-ups to play. It's the One Small Step Dance Club, appropriately themed for landing on the moon. You've got your standard disco floor. You got some moon boot prints all the way around the place. Looks pretty cool. It does have a bar with its own custom menu. It's pretty good theming in here. We've got a lot more still on Deck 5, not even close to being done. Next up is the Alchemy Bar. You can get some great cocktails here, all made with fresh ingredients from some world-class bartenders. Don't miss out on the Alchemy Bar on your trip. If you're sailing on the Valor soon and this video has been helpful for you, please hit the like button below. It'll help spread the video to other people searching for the Valor, and so they can get something out of it too. I appreciate the support. Thanks! So just behind the Alchemy Bar, you'll find the Lindy Hop Piano Bar, which is just another venue to enjoy some live entertainment on your sailing. And finally we reach the aft of the ship. This is where you'll find the Eagle's Lounge. This is the comedy club that usually has at least one, if not two, sometimes three shows a night, often from different performers. There's a bar in the back, and even though quite large, it will get very full. So make sure you get there early to grab a seat for you and your party. There's one more venue on the back of Deck 5 as I say goodbye to my bald friend here. And that's called the Paris Hot Lounge. Now, there were no activities scheduled specifically for this venue, but I did see both crew and guests hanging out in there throughout the trip. And we'll do a quick peek down the Glory Atrium, which is the smaller atrium in the back. You can see a beautiful eagle sculpture hanging down over Deck 4 and 3. But we're going to advance to the front of the ship, take those stairs down from Deck 5 down to Deck 4. Do a quick pause to look down at the atrium below. Got some trivia going on. We'll continue down into the Iliad Library. Now this library can be used by anybody. There's books in there to read. You can just use the space as a quiet space. We got a family in here playing a little board game. Hopefully I didn't disturb them too much. They're good sports about it. The rest of Deck 4 is the Pixels Gallery area where you can find photos from the trip taken by all of their photographers. Check out the Frame of Fame. If your photo is highlighted one of the days, you can get that photo for free. All the rest of the photos are separated by occasion, so you can find the ones that you want to order. Further down, you'll see the entrances from Deck 4 into the Ivanhoe Theater. Then back around, more photos from more occasions from the sailing. It can be a little overwhelming, but just follow the headings of each section and you'll be able to identify when the photo was taken and then just quickly search for your picture. If you don't like it, you can dispose of it and you're good to go. If you like it, take it to the desk and make a purchase. We're going to take a look at the first of two main dining rooms. This is the Lincoln Dining Room, and this is going to be from the Deck 4 entrance. The Lincoln Dining Room is used for passengers with your time dining, which is from 5:45 to 9:30. You check in on the Hub app whenever you're ready to eat, and they will assign you to a table. It means you might have a different server on different days, but you do get the convenience of choosing when you eat. This is also where you would visit the maitre d' on day one if you wanted to change your dining options. The last room here is the Circle C Club for 12, 13, and 14-year-olds. We're going to jump to the aft portion of the ship. So these doors here were the back side of the Lincoln Dining Room that we just saw on Deck 4. We'll pass the midship elevators and stairs. You'll see Club 02. Now this is the kids club for ages 15, 16, and 17. And then you'll see Winston's Bar just down the way. We'll come back to that in just a moment, because what I want to do is actually go visit the other restaurant. So here's the Glory Atrium that we saw earlier. And just past that is the Deck 4 entrance to the Washington Dining Room. The Washington Dining Room is where you will have your dining if you have a set time of either 6 p.m. or 8:15 p.m. It's also the venue for C-Day brunch. Now we'll turn around and we'll head back into Winston's bar. We saw the opposite entrance just a while ago when we were in the corridor near Circle C in the midship. Karaoke was the main function held in this lounge. Nestled away in the corner is the Dreams Studio. Now this is the more advanced Pixels experience where you get to do a full set of photos with a professional photographer, of course at a digital cost. So here's that corridor we were at, and there's the stairs under the chandelier that we mentioned earlier. Finally came back around to them. We'll take a peek outside the window. There is a deck that runs around deck 4. It is not for normal guest use, but this is where you might have a muster station, because it is of course next to the lifeboats. So one final time we'll bounce to the front of the ship. We'll take the stairs, just like when we went from 5 to 4, down from 4 to 3. Looks like they still have some trivia going on here. On the port side of the ship you'll find the shore excursions desk where you can book excursions at any ports that you might have. So right down there is the Ivanhoe Theater. The restrooms for the Ivanhoe Theater are all on that left side. It can be very crowded there when the theater's letting out. Let's go check out the right side. We'll go inside just to show you the vantage point from deck 3. See the guest services desk here, long line. If you're only looking to check your account or add money from a gift card, something like that, use one of the Sail and Sign kiosks that you see located here and also up on deck 5. The last thing we'll do, interrupting trivia once again, sorry. The last thing we'll do is we'll head out these doors to the deck 3 exterior deck. Now this is sitting below where all the lifeboats are, and this is where you'll actually enter when you board the ship. What's great about here is you are so close to the water. You can get a real good feel for the ocean, especially when you're cutting through the waves that might be a little bit choppy here in the Gulf of Mexico. Now be careful not to make the mistake of thinking you can take this exterior deck all the way back to the Washington dining room, the aft dining room. There's not an entrance to that dining room on the back side here. You can see here you do have the Lincoln dining room, but there's a galley in between and there's not an entrance from this outside walkway. However, you can get a nice front row seat for pier runners when leaving a port. Highly recommend. And that concludes our tour of the Carnival Valor. Let me know in the comments below if you're sailing on the Valor soon, when are you sailing, and what are you the most excited about? If you found this video informative, we'd appreciate if you'd hit the like button below, as it helps YouTube spread it to other people searching for info on the Carnival Valor just like you. Last, if you love cruising as much as we do, why don't you join the Nogvlog family, subscribe to our channel, and come take a trip with us.